I'll be going over my first impressions of the new champion Black Tarantula. I tested him at rank 4, rank 5, and rank 5A1 on attack, and I'll give a brief first impressions on how he is on defense. However, take that with a grain of salt. The stat focus I use with him is critical damage rating and block pen on defense. Critical damage because he, well, crits a lot, and his bursts scale off of his critical damage. And defender stat focus, he crits in the block pen is gonna just make it hurt a lot. Signature ability, I believe that he doesn't really need it. The extra combo is very nice for helping him ramp, and the halt passive is good for facing unfazed and facing Rhino. However, I believe that unduped he would get most of the way there. And then for Relic, I recommend a Karnak Relic because, once again, he scales off of crit damage. Battlecast wise, I don't know if Black Panther Relic will benefit him as much because he does not do guaranteed crits. Instead, he stacks a whole bunch of cunning. So I don't know if that relic will be like as beneficial. So definitely recommend a Karnak relic. Okay, let's get into the gameplay. Okay, starting off with the rank 4 Black Tarantula, which I'll be calling BT from here on out. We're facing rank 5 and R5A1 defenders, starting off with Photon, his target matchup. Should be noted that defenders on the beta server have masteries such as Inequity, which he turns off, and also are accounting for collective health increases, but they don't have like stat focuses or stack S relics. Anyways, yeah, this fight is extremely easy. You're able to just ignore pure light, and high debuff matchups are very good for Black Tarantula, and this fight was overkill despite punching up very high. And I did not even play this optimally, I think, which I'll show way later down the line. Next, we got Rhino. This is another target matchup, specifically if you've taken him up with a high sig, or at least awakening, because the halt comes in handy for ignoring the unstoppable. Should be noted that he has a stand up after his special one, so I like to heavy at the start and get them to the corner so I can do that stand up intercept. Anyways, here I've applied this halt, and now if Rhino were to have unstoppable, I would not care. I don't actually let him trigger unstoppable, but if he did, it would have been a non-issue. Anyways, there he is, dead. So Rhino, extremely good matchup. Once again, this is a rank 4 versus a rank 5, so 35 seconds is quite the nuke. Next, we have High Evolutionary, who is a good matchup. However, you do have to play it a little bit differently. Typically, he would be, purifying all these debuffs. However, it's all severe, but Black Tarantula still gains combo from gaining any debuff, so you want to parry as many hits as you can to stack those debuffs. And you'll just see my combo go through the roof. There, another thing, with special attacks that have a lot of hits, blocking, gives you that chance to evade the attack. So high hit specials, if you full block them, you have a better chance of getting an extra fury, which can shut down the fight sooner. Here, the rank 4 does not quite have the range to kill, but this is a R5A1 High Evolutionary, which it's super impressive. Next, we have I-Bomb. This is just to show off the poison immune utility. I don't actually show any other I-Bombs after this, because, well, I think this gives you a good idea already of like, hey, this matchup's doable. It's gonna take special 1, special 2. Yeah. So this fight is nice if I-bomb blocks, it's actually ideal because then you can hit his block for weaknesses and purify them or just get the combo from them. It's no big deal. Either way, nonetheless, you're ramping up quite a bit. Here, I get another free Fury from, you know, him just attacking me. Black Tarantula's evade is probably the strongest part of his kit because it's what makes him a dual threat. Anyways, that's R5A1 I-bomb down in under a minute. Very solid for a rank 4. So within the science class, Black Tarantula does very well. Granted, his only utility is that Purify and Poison Immune, which is not bad. Anyways, next we have Arcade. I just wanted to show off how he fares outside of his ideal matchups or class wheel. Arcade is helping him a little bit because I can get that Torment on me for a little bit extra combo, but it's really not that big of a deal. And you'll see that I go for 2 special 1s into a special 2, and even that is still not enough. So to me, Black Tarantula feels a little weaker, or tamer rather, when fighting outside of ideal matchups. However, you know, it's not going to be the slowest time for, once again, punching up 1.5 ranks. So take these showings with a grain of salt. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of how he'll perform, you know, outside of the ideals. Because, like, I equate BT to Kingpin in the sense he does extremely well with a lot of debuffs, and without, he's just okay. Which, you know what, it's fair. At least he has a niche to dominate in. And 71 seconds, punching 1.5 ranks outside of class advantage. Not bad, not bad. And next we'll be showing off the rank 5 Black Tarantula. Here I have a Photon with more of a Alliance War mini-boss health pool. Originally I was not going to show matchups such as Photon, just because they ultimately take the same amount of time in Battlegrounds because the rank 4 was already overkill, so equal rank is going to be more or less the same, like special 1, special 2. But then I decided, hey, you know what? People probably want to see the damage output at the very least, so I'm showing it here. And I chose a larger health pool, so we actually get to see those numbers, because honestly, the rank 5 Photon with the Battlegrounds health pool did not have enough health to really show anything after that first burst. Anyways, there's his damage. And that is 87k per burst, I believe. That's what that number is showing. And yeah, no damage taken. Next we have High Evolutionary. This one is a little different. I would say this fight is a bit more consistent as a rank 5 to R5A1. I believe the special 2 here will actually kill after SP1, SP2. Last time with the rank 4, it fell about like 9% short, which is fine. A relic finished the job, but here I believe the SP2 is enough. There, if he had not turned that special 1, there was a chance that I would have killed, but it's fine. I mean, I believe this shows 45 seconds. Yeah, 45 seconds for a High Evolutionary punching up. Very solid, very solid. Next, I have a Sandman. Before, with the rank 4, I was falling quite short, but now that you have the rank 5, it's better. There, I'm showing once again, like, hey, I want to corner them fast, so I can do this stand-up intercept, which is just a light attack after the special 1. It will feel quite similar to Patriot, if you've ever used them. They're heavy just to get him to throw that special sooner, and yeah. This is another matchup where I get to showcase, or where I actually get to showcase the Halt working as utility. So Sandman goes unstable here, however, I can ignore it with the halt, and the special 2 will almost kill. If I had blocked that very last hit, or the second last hit, the special 2 would have killed, but it's fine. Anyways, that's a 49-second Sandman. Sandman's pretty annoying, truthfully. So pretty good for this problematic defender. Next, we're going back to the benchmark of Arcade. I chose him, by the way, because I know some people struggle with him. I think for most Celestial people, Arcade is not that big of a problem unless there's, you know, root nodes like right now that force you to be in his trap. But otherwise, Arcade is considered a nodeless defender, essentially. But here, this time around, instead of going for 2 special 1s, I think I just go for SB1, SB2, and it almost kills. A little bit stingy with the special. I get a lucky evade there for Fury. There, I don't dash into punish the special 2 because it is actually a risky punish. So I wanted to play it safe there. Anyways, there Arcade's down to 19%. Had I done 2 special 2s, it probably would have been enough. However, doing this special 1 will finish off Arcade. That's another thing. Black Tarantula's basics and damage outside of the special 2 is not the worst, so at the very least, if his special 2 doesn't kill, it's not like the fight is completely cooked. Anyways, here I'm just adding a little extra fun matchup of Penny Parker. Here I get a tad bit lucky at the start where she will special 1 unexpectedly in just a second. Yeah, there. I get bailed out with an evade and get a second evade. And this Fury plus critting into block allows me to take down the shield, which was the utility I wanted to show in the first place. In addition, Penny Parker is a perfect example of, you know, specials with a lot of hits, and when I full block the special 2, I'll get a handful of Furies from evading. Black Tarantula has a 5% chance to block, or a 5% chance to evade non-medium attacks, including specials and even relics, so I'm told. By the way, I made a mistake of attacking into the auto block. Had I not done that, I would have ended probably at 95% health, I think. So misplay on my part, but sub-minute Penny Parker. You know, Cosmics are going to do it better, but at least he's not going to get trapped by Penny. Now, finally, we are on to the R5A1, where slight punching down. This is the mini-boss health pool again, just showing, you know, the benchmark of how much damage Black Tarantula is doing. Yeah, there. She was not in Pure Light. I don't know what's happening with her right now, but since she was not in Pure Light, I couldn't spam evades, but here I can now, and yeah. So in Photon, where you can trigger, like, you know, specials can't be dexed and get a lot of evades, you're gonna have a great time just getting a bunch of combo. And yeah, 100k bursts per laser, that's very nice. And this is unboosted, of course. Now we're going back to the rank 5 health pool because I wanted to show that I actually did not realize something about Black Tarantula, and it's that his oh, I'll show a little bit of his strong regen too. Anyways, I did not realize his special 2 cooldown, which you'll see as his like first passive or timer, it goes down every time you evade, which I did not realize until messing around with the R5A1. So honestly, just skipping the special 1 in the Photon matchup, you can kill just fine, and that might even be the case for a rank 4 and rank 5 Black Tarantula. So Photon might just be like a 30-second fight for him, which is extremely impressive. Anyways, on to Sandman. Just gonna showcase this again. He'll do very well. Spoiler alert. It's the exact same rotation as last time, and once more, I'm kind of just showing that, hey, the champions with a rotation which is tied to their specials as damage payout, like special 1, special 2, if a low rank kills, a higher rank's not going to change the time. Sorry if I already said that before, but just wanted to reiterate here. Anyhow, same thing happens. Salmon goes unstable, but it's fine because we have halt, and this special 2 is going to kill. Should be noted that it's important that you throw your special 2 while you have 2 Furies stacked from evading. Make sure you do that, otherwise your damage may fall short. So always try to. Here, High Evolutionary, I could be showing the same rotation, however this is going to be a little different, a little bit cheeky. This is a very difficult rotation to pull off, I would say, in a real Battlegrounds matchup, just because, well, you're baiting the special 2 here, and it means you're playing around with reverse controls, but this is actually ideal for most skill champs because the High Evolutionary field places a non-severe devolve debuff on you, so that is extra debuffs to be purifying. And yeah, High Evo is down in 40 seconds. Now, once again, this is not like a rotation I would recommend unless you practice this over and over. It is quite difficult, but it is faster. So you have that. Finally, for like Battlegrounds health pools, I'm showing off Null, which is a little bit of like a cheesy matchup. Null will punish attackers with high combo by reducing their combat power rate. At some point, you're just going to gain 0 power from hitting Null. However, Black Tarantula has a very potent regen, so I just 8 hits for power and to reset my combo, so I'll have enough power for a special 2. And in addition, Null has a lot of debuffs, which, you know, allows Black Tarantula to ramp up without needing to throw a special 1. So I'm just building up combo here, trying to get this evade cooldown, and then I'll bait the special 2 to evade it, and I'll throw the special 2 with 2 Furies. It won't quite kill, but it gets them fairly low. And one last heavy punish. Null is down. I believe this takes about 66 seconds. Not the fastest time, but hey, Null's a fairly decent stall and a common R5A2, so pretty cool. Next we got this Sentry. Sorry, I had to do some editing. Just wanted to show off his, long-form potential, just because I really think it's cool how Black Tarantula has, indefinite vulnerabilities, cunning, so his damage stays there. It's very chill, just ramping him up. It is permanent throughout the fight. Yeah, so Black Tarantula will be pretty decent for Ever's content, I think. Of course, this is R5A1 stats, but I mean, they're pretty high. Like, I think after he throws a special and I get 2 Furies. Yeah, those are 300k bursts. 3 times, 1,000,000 damage special 2, not bad at all. Next, we got a couple clips of him on defense. Now, full disclosure, even I don't really, buy into showing off champions in the practice range as good barometers of their defensive ability. They're totally on purpose, showing off how prowess reduces his evade stun, and it's also reducing his regen duration, so after you get 4 prowess, you no longer trigger evade. Anyways, yeah, so I'll be showing a couple fights. They're not the greatest. I just wanted to show, like, hey, this is how I feel about Tarantula so far. His specials are easy to dex. After them, he gets evade. So as long as you do mediums while he has that evade up, he won't evade. But he always has a 5% chance to evade. After like 12 seconds at the start of the fight. Anyways, yeah. So prowess is the intent counter for Black Tarantula, and that's nice and all. Additionally, he was purifying stuns as you saw, but you know, Storm replaces it with a passive, which is nice. However, in the first place, he's critting into block, so it hurts. Showing off Silver Samurai here. Since it's a 7-star rank 1, he's doing like a disproportionate amount of damage to what you'd actually be doing. But it's fine. I'm showing off more that a reforce passive would be nice to, you know, not get crit into block. Anyways, I believe that Black Tarantula is not going to be like the best defender in the game. However, his evade is easily the most annoying part of his kit, and here I'm still taking that risk that he could just evade my special and I couldn't do anything about it, but fortunately he didn't. The regen is not as strong as I thought, especially if you don't stack up specters. So a high burst damage is ideal so that he doesn't, you know, get strong regens at low HP and just stall out the fight. Here, just showing off Starkey, who is a very common, you know, Battlegrounds attacker. He'll work. I think that in better hands, Starkey would be faster here, but I'm relatively new to him. I have actually held off on ranking him for a while. Anyways, yeah, Black Tarantula, watch out for him critting into your block, which he'll do more often and harder the more times he throws special 1 because of stacking cunning. Regen, don't worry too much about it. As long as you aren't placing too many debuffs, that regen is going to be relatively weak. And yeah, ideally bring an evade counter that's not ability accuracy based unless you're a mutant, because then it won't work on him. Yeah, Black Tarantula is going to be quite nice, kind of like preventing certain attackers, and yeah, so overall decent dual threat. And I'll be moving on to my final thoughts. Alright, here are my final thoughts on Black Tarantula. I think he's going to be a good Battlegrounds pickup. He is going to do very well in his target matchups, like with high debuffs, mainly Photon and Rhino, from my testing. However, as you saw, he worked for high Evo too, and Sandman and Eyebomb. Outside of his target matchups, however, he's not going to be anything crazy, but he'll certainly get the job done around a minute, if not a little less, which, you know, specialized attackers are going to outperform him, but you're going to at least be able to finish the fight. On defense for Battlegrounds, I think that he's going to be worth like watching out for. His evade is extremely powerful, and even if it's only a 5% chance, it's anything that's not a medium, and that includes, you know, heavies, specials, even your relic, so I've heard. So it's definitely something to watch out for and try to counter, which you can only do with like counters not related to ability accuracy, assuming you're not using a mutant. Additionally, Black Tarantula is like shut down by prowess, or at least that's the intention. However, prowess champs aren't as like common in the current Battlegrounds meta, so he's going to either call for people to use like, you know, different champs that are traditionally not as good for, you know, people like Yelena. So he'll be good as skill defender variety there. yeah, overall, if you're focused on Battlegrounds, Black Tarantula would be a good pickup. I will say though, I think that Black Tarantula's biggest strength is going to be in somewhat longer form content like War or, Everest, because his ramp is quite forgiving. It's completely indefinite, so as long as you're throwing your special ones, special threes, special twos, um, you're just going to get stronger throughout the fight. And his max potential is quite strong, as I showed against that sentry. Additionally, he doesn't rely on debuffs on attack, and his special 2 is simply energy damage. It's not like incinerate or anything, so it's only going to be like hindered by, people lowering bursts like Sentinel or energy resist. However, he has that vulnerability, so that may not even be a factor. Anyways, yeah, so on attack for longer form content where you can take your time a little more, he's going to perform well. And then his utility of non-damaging debuff purification, combo meter, and poison immune, it's not like the craziest things out there, but it's alright. You'll still have to... Oh, actually, I guess he has a unstoppable counter too, so that's nice. But otherwise, still dealing with unblockable, still dealing with miss and evade. However, if you can tolerate that or avoid it, he's going to do just fine and great for you. Overall, I would say Black Tarantula was a very fun champ to review. I'm saying this because I guess I was not as transparent with Hobgoblin. I tried to be nice, but the truth is Hobgoblin really did not mesh with me. So I'm very glad that Black Tarantula was fun. Good luck if you are pursuing him in the Titan Crystal far down the future, or have fun with him if you get him through the pre-release bundle. So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good one.